Hello, it's Eric here, and so today I'm going to start a new series of videos, and the new series of videos is going to be centered around the Russell's paradox. Yeah, one of the biggest problems in in the foundation of mathematics. Yeah, but before we start this new series of videos, we have to wrap up some unfinished business from the previous series of videos on the principle of explosion. Yeah, and we have already gone through the proof, and we stated the assumptions, and then we said that if you accept these three assumptions, then you can prove that anything is possible. For example, I can prove that next year 2023 is going to be the end of the world. Yeah. And then, some people say, well, I do not accept the validity of these three assumptions. Like for example, I think assumption 2, assumption 3 are unassailable. Yeah, you cannot say assumption 2 and assumption 3 are wrong because they are standard logical operations. And it's only assumption 1 that people tend to poke holes into. Yeah. And then, so we're gonna look at assumption 1 in detail, and it's very much related to Russell's paradox in this new series of videos. Yeah. But before I start, I should mention the background music that I've chosen for today is coming from Kiyoshi Sugimoto. He's also one of my favorite artists from the 70s in the funk psychedelic genre. Yeah. And together with Jiro Inagaki, and I think this pair of musicians, they really define the funk psychedelic genre of music from the 1970s. In the Japanese space. He's fast becoming one of my favorite artists from that genre. Yeah. And then okay, so let's go back to this video. So we're gonna look at the whether assumption 1 is true or not. Yeah. And right off the bat, I can tell you that assumption 1 is definitely true. Yeah. But some people don't accept it, and then I'll tell you why some people don't accept it. Okay, so first of all, assumption 1, I said before, is very much related to the Gödel's theorem. Yeah. But even before Gödel's theorem existed, someone already found this problem. This kind of logical inconsistency in assumption 1. His name is Russell. His name is Bertrand Russell. He's a English philosopher / mathematician from the turn of the 20th century. Yeah. So let me bring up his material here. So what I'll do is I'm gonna magnify this portion of the slide so you can see more clearly. Okay. So Russell's paradoxes, of course, are coming from Bertrand Russell from the turn of the 20th century, and his discovery of this paradox caused such a maelstrom, in mathematics that if you accept the validity of his paradox, then the whole of the foundation of mathematics is going to fall apart. It's a huge problem, and that's why we're going to devote a whole series of videos on this Russell's paradox. Yeah. And then so the Russell's paradox goes like this, and okay, so the Russell's paradox states that the set of let's say you have a set X. Yeah, the set X contains all the sets that don't include themselves. Yeah, and then you ask yourself, does the set X include itself? Yeah, and that it seems that if you say X includes itself, then it will lead to the absurd conclusion that X doesn't include itself. Yeah, and if you say X doesn't include itself, then it will lead to the contradictory result that X does indeed include itself. Yeah, and the proof is actually very simple. So first of all, let me find some examples of sets that don't include themselves. Yeah. So let's say, for example, example 1 is a set that doesn't include itself. Like for example, the set of all natural numbers. Natural numbers are numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So if you construct a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then there is no element in that set that contains all the natural numbers. Like for example, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to infinity. Yeah. But you will not see a member that is actually the set of all the natural numbers. So therefore, the set of all natural numbers is not It's not a set that includes itself. Yeah. And then okay, so then how about example 2? Example 2 is something that actually includes itself. And then for example, I have a set A, and the elements of the set A are just 3 elements. Element A, element B, element C. Yeah. And you can see that the element A is actually referring to itself. Yeah. And this is basically the self-referencing problem. Yeah. And whenever you define something that includes yourself, then you run into this problem of the Russell's paradox. And then so therefore example 2 is something that includes itself. Yeah. Okay, so now let me prove in a very quick way that Russell's paradox is actually valid. Yeah. Okay, so then if Russell's paradox is defined like this, and then you ask yourself, does X include itself? Yeah. Okay, so first of all, we examine whether X includes itself. Yeah. So let's say, for example, I say X includes itself. Yeah. Then by definition, yeah, X doesn't include itself. Yeah, because the definition of X is that it's the set of all the sets that don't include themselves. Yeah. So therefore, if you say X includes itself, that means by definition it doesn't include itself. Yeah. So that's the first contradiction. If you prove it the other way around, then you can also get a contradiction. For example, I say X doesn't include itself. Yeah. If X doesn't include itself, then by definition it's a member of the set X. Yeah. So therefore X includes itself. Yeah. And so therefore once again you lead to contradiction. Yeah. So therefore there's no way out. No matter how you say it, it will lead to contradiction. If you say X includes itself, then it will lead to X doesn't include itself. If you say X doesn't include itself, it will lead to the contradictory conclusion that the X includes itself. Yeah. So it seems to me that this kind of a self-referencing problem, whenever you define something, a set or whatever that is referencing itself, then you eventually will run into the Russell's paradox. Yeah. And it turns out that Russell's paradox is causing such a maelstrom, in mathematics, that if you accept the validity of Russell's paradox, then the all of foundation of mathematics will fall apart. Yeah. And then of course, mathematicians are not going to allow that to happen. They're not going to allow the foundation of their business to fall apart. Yeah. So they scramble to come up with solutions to avoid the Russell's paradox. Yeah. So in the next series of videos, we're going to look at what the mathematicians are trying to do to avoid the collapse of the foundation of mathematics. All right. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.